Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk. Now, I had intended to talk today about a few mon that I'm planning to build for tonight's raid, but unfortunately, we had to deal with some power outages and things like that. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to try something a little different today. Now, we already know, we talked about Primarina yesterday, and kind of the takeaway that I had, at least, and we'll see if this is the case or not, is that tonight, on this raid, because she is a fairy and water type, with a Star Tera, Steel is going to kind of be your best bet here. Now, if we go down here, her resistance is pretty much, well, I mean, her weakness is poison, and hers is grass and electric, but with that Star Tera, she is going to be weak to Steel. Now, that, remember, whenever you terastallize, basically you adopt whatever that terastallization is, that becomes your native style. So essentially, defensively, she will be pure fairy, which makes her weak to Steel. Now, I know Steel only says 1 times up here. Just trust me on this. So, while Poison, on the face of it, a lot of people seem to be, like, doubling down on, I kind of feel like she's going to have one of those moves that makes Poison not really a viable option. Now, you can still use Poison moves, but as soon as you're terastallizing Poison, you're probably going to run into some issues. Now, stronger Mon, more special defensive Mon, probably can hold their own, especially if you've got a Shell Bell and you can heal every single turn. She's not a particularly speedy Mon. She's only got speed 60. By the way, I appreciate Bulbapedia for putting all this information out here in such an easy-to-read format. I don't shout them out enough, but I use them all the time. They're fantastic. But as you can see here, she's going to be using special... not that. That is not... We'll just get past the ads here. She will be using a special attacks almost exclusively, if not completely exclusively, which means special defense is really going to be kind of like paramount there. Also, when you're using attacks, you really do want to use physical attacks if at all possible, so avoid special attacks. She's not particularly speedy, like I was saying, so there's a lot of options at your disposal here. Now, if I go back over here to Steel, there's a lot of Steel moves, especially physical Steel moves, that are up for grabs here. And as I'm going through here, what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for things that are physical, that are Steel, but also have a decent amount of power. So if we come down here a little further, you'll start to see, like, Hard Press would be a great option, but Hard Press depends on a number of factors and can actually peter off towards the end of the fight. So I'm looking for things that are like power 80 and above. So right here, Iron Head, great move. I think that's going to be a fantastic one. Iron Tail, little low on the accuracy, but if you can increase your Mon's accuracy, another good choice. But what I really like, if I come down here, one of my favorite Mon, actually I think it's towards the top. Where is it? Where it should be right around here somewhere. Anyway, there it is. One of my favorite Mon, just because of reasons, is Tinkaton. I love Tinkaton. So Gigaton Hammer here is a base power of 160. Now, the downside of Gigaton Hammer is you cannot use that same move twice in a row. So, in essence, we've got 2 options here. Now, there was the Focus Sash, I think, where you can only use the same move twice. Basically, if you do Gigaton Hammer, then she'll struggle, and then Gigaton Hammer, and then struggle. With a Shell Bell, you could probably survive that. What I think is even better, well, obviously with So Focus Sash, you can't use Shell Bell. Duh, obviously. So probably not a great option, but if you come over here, there's enough. Let's just take a look at Tinkaton for a moment. There is enough. Come on, girl. There we are. Steel moves in her repertoire. Now, she does Flash Cannon, that special attack. You can do it. Metal Claw's a power 50, but if we go down a little further, you get a lot more options for your disposal here. So she actually has access to Hard Press. She can use Metal Sound for debuffing. She has Sword Stance for the buffing. Tinkaton really, for me, I think is a great option here. So use Gigaton Hammer, use Metal Sound, use Sword Stance, and then maybe like Light Screen or... because obviously, like I said, you can't use Gigaton Hammer twice in a row. But maybe by the time you buff, by the time you debuff, you could probably make your way around that. However, that said, you could use Metal Claw... what else do we have? Steel Heavy Slam is another option, though I don't think that's going to be as good. Steel Beam, but that's going to, once again, you're going to be running out of moves at that point. Thought she had more physical steel moves. Doesn't really matter. Gigaton Hammer will definitely, if you use Gigaton Hammer, and even if you use like Flash Cannon or something like that, it'll more than make up the difference. However, the best thing about her, resistances. She resists both Ice and Fairy and Psychic, actually. So 3 of the 4 types of moves that I think she's going to have at her disposal are going to be limited. In fact, I'm kind of in front of everything here. But she also has really high special defense. So while her physical attack isn't that great, with Swords Dance, which she does have, you could buff yourself up. Metal Sound, you can actually lower their defenses. There's just so many options at your disposal. But that's not the only one. If we go back here to steel moves, there's a number of great steel moves here. Like I said, I wouldn't do Flash Cannon or Doom Desire. But if we come down a little further, we're looking at physical moves. Like I said, Iron Head, Iron Tail, things like that are going to be absolutely fantastic moves that you can build Pokemon around. So when I'm building a Pokemon for a raid, this is one of the first things I do. I say, what is this Pokemon going to be weak to? In this case, Poison and Steel. Okay, then I go back and I look at what's going to be in that Pokemon's repertoire. What moves are they going to be able to negate? So in the case of like Poison, obviously then they're, using a Mon with a Poison Tera isn't advantageous because I kind of feel like you're going to get smacked around a little bit. So really at that point, then Steel becomes an option. Then I go ahead in here. Step 3 is I start looking for hard-hitting Steel moves. That was what brought me to Gigaton Hammer. Well, being Tinkaton brought me to Gigaton Hammer. But when I started looking up Gigaton Hammer, I was like, oh, this is a really strong physical attacking Steel move. She doesn't have a lot of physical defense. She's going to be all special attack. This Mon has... I think this is going to be like the premier Mon for this coming event. But once again, you can come down here and you can come up with so many other options. So really start contemplating what you want to do. I really do think that Steel is the way to go. I do see a lot of people out there like relying on Water Absorb, but do remember, she's only going to have like 1 water move. And then probably like a Fairy move. Which will have a Fairy move. And then probably Psychic and Ice if I had to guess. So I really don't think Water Absorb is going to be your best bet here. I really feel like having someone with a Steel Tera and a really strong Steel move is going to go leaps and bounds towards our inevitable goal here. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We'll see how this plays out. I will be live tonight around 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be doing some raids live. I'll be hosting some raids. And we'll be testing out Pokemon left, right, and center, especially for solo runs, because you guys know I love to do these solo runs. And we'll talk about farming and all that good stuff coming up here soon. So hope to see you guys tonight. Like, comment, and share right here on this channel, 10 p.m. Eastern. See you guys soon. Have a great day, and happy raiding.